Hello, hello, and good morning. God bless you, and thank you for joining us for another podcast. As you know, I always just thank everyone for joining, and all over the world, and all my peoples out there. I just want to thank you for everyone that we touch, everyone that has been listening and tuning in. God bless you, and thank you. What we're going to get to today is like we were talking about before, and I'm going to be here as long as God has us. But today's topic is let's stop the tradition, people. Let's stop the tradition. I had this last in there somewhere, but it's just what God has given me first. I'm going to give you your scriptures first of all. Matthew 19:6 and Psalms 84:10. I woke up this morning about 2 something and I saw a post. They had a tithe envelope up and they said so many people say amen and have and show money. How many of you are doing this? Tithes and offerings are how you get blessed. That's what said on the post. And for the sake of peace and love, I did not respond. So if who shared this post is listening, like I said, because it wasn't. All right. Tithes are not the only way for God to bless you. Tithes and offerings are not the only way for God to bless you. Churches all over the world, please stop teaching your people that God is going to bless you, and it's the only way He's going to bless you if you pay your tithes and offerings. What are tithes and offerings for? You may ask. Well, this is why they are telling you to pay your tithes and offerings, people, because the church lights, and you're supposed to pay the pastor a salary. So that's why you consistently hear pay tithes and offerings. But they read Malachi 3:10, oh, the Lord will open a window. Study your word and understand what tithes and offerings are for and why they don't talk to you about seed time and harvest and why you're still broke. Paying your tithes and offerings. Okay? You understand? I need you. That is such a sore spot for me because I'm 45 and I spent all my years believing that tithes and offerings, something was supposed to pop. And it never popped. We sowed seed. The one thing that my wife and I believe in seed time and harvest. Believe that. Because we sowed seed in many, many ministries without anybody knowing about it. That's why our first pastor had love for us because we gave. You understand what I'm saying? He told me, you make a good deacon. You make a good deacon. Only reason I make a good deacon because I was given extra every paycheck. What? And the only reason I did it because God told me to do it. Because if it was for that mouth and what was going on with my wife, that wouldn't have kept happening. But God told me to do it. I did it. Understand why to the church tithes and offerings are first and foremost. They're not concerned with seed time and harvest. Why? That's dealing with God. You're putting that investment in God and asking God to do it. The church needs it now. That's why you got to go on Sunday. Okay? Y'all understand? You need to go on Sunday to pay your tithes and offerings, and everybody put it together so the bills and everything can be paid.
But also, there's supposed to be money to help the poor,
come on,
the widowed, and the orphan.
Now that's supposed to come out of there too. You know that's supposed to come out of there too.
That's what's supposed to.
That's why I said supposed to. But what happens is, when there's a building fund, because if you noticed on the, they put on either on the program or the ministry has the right to redirect to wherever the need is.
And then don't want to tell you where the money going.
Come on now.
And that's your right as a church member.
I told y'all, let's change the culture. Let's stop the tradition, people. The church brainwash. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with the church brainwash. Now that's where I went with Matthew 19:6. Let no man put asunder what God put together. Basically talking about marriages. My wife and I, we always talk about this. We always talk about, because what happens is, and it killed me one day, because we were looking at that show, was that Bill, whatever his name is? And what happened was, it was a bad relationship. It was bad. And the girlfriend or the wife or the husband was like, we're staying together for the children. And what did he say? He said, that's not a good reason to stay together, because what y'all doing is messing them up. But the church will tell you what? Stay together. The Lord
hates divorce.
Hates divorce.
But if y'all can't stand together, how you gonna produce something good? How is good fruit gonna come from that?
Stay there and fight. God will work it out. You fight. And what happens? You become old and bitter. Y'all just sitting there now, just buddies and friends. Can't stand each other. Hey, where your wife at? I don't know. Let me call and see. Because all them years ago, they told you to stay together. But you knew, okay, this thing been over for a minute. But the Lord said, come on now. We have to stop with the church brainwash. God did not put a lot of the marriages that are going together now asunder. I mean, together, my fault.
People put each other together.
Yes. What's that? First married. Married at first sight. And then there's another one. And they are trying...
They trying to make it right. They throwing two strangers together. And even though they arguing the whole time.
Yes.
They still gonna get married.
They still gonna get. They give them 6 weeks. Married. Yeah, they give them 6 weeks to find out whether they're gonna stay together or not. Mm-mm. But you went into this, don't know this person, and now you're thinking, oh God, God didn't tell them people to do that. Nobody told you to do this. Now you're doing it, and you are presenting it.
And they're trying to make it like a fad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something trendy.
Because a lot of people, it wasn't on TV, but you did hear a lot of people, I knew him for a week and we got married. Mm-hmm. So now they putting it on TV, you know what I'm saying? But the phony thing, I remember now, TV is scripted. So I'm pretty sure somebody's getting, they ready to leave, but they go pull them to the side and talk to them and say, hey. That's right. Can't do that. But we don't see that. Then they come in, we gonna work it out. I told my wife, I said, I don't know how that man staying with that woman. She crazy. She crazy. I mean, they just sitting there chilling, and she just come out with some of the off the wall crazy. I was like, man, that woman need to be alone. And then when she was leaving with her mother, she looked like a little child walking. Mm-hmm. I said, this she is not ready for marriage. And then later on, what happened? Oh, we growing up together now. We feel, I'm so comfortable now. We good. We gonna stay together.
Then a year later, you find something different.
Then you do the update. Bridezillas, same thing. Some of them stay together, the majority of them divorce. Acting crazy.
That's what God meant. Let no man put us under.
Come on now. It's when God does it, y'all. I know y'all might not like this. Elder Kirk, you talking about people should get divorced. Of course I'm talking about it, because you're not building the kingdom. You're not doing anything except... Stagnant. Yeah, you're not doing anything. That's what, I'm going to offend. God, God gave me this, when I was in my forklift. God said, boy, I tell you, you got to look at it. The woman is the most devoted, but the man, he's lagging. The woman knows God. She has that one-on-one relationship with God. But with the husband, it ain't about going nowhere doing nothing. But the church is saying, this is one of our best relationships and marriages here. They've been married for 20 years. Thank the Lord. Pray. And the husband can't stand the wife. And the wife is just like, oh, I love Jesus.
All right.
Come on now. Jesus. Love Jesus. But the husband sitting there talking about,
She had to love Jesus to bear that man for all
Come on now. She loves Jesus now, but we ain't going nowhere. She loves Jesus. As soon as church over, come on, woman, come on. Yep. Come on, let's go. Get out of here. Oh, I'm talking to the sister. I don't care who you talking to. We getting up out of here. Go ahead, man.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the church.
Come on now.
To be like that.
We have to stop the tradition. But instead, no, let's keep it going. This works so far. Really? That's why in the church we have so much mess. I told you, go to Bible study. Stop with the ticket. You got to get the devil out the church, and then we'll have a good, successful church. But for right now, it's not going to happen. Keep going on Sunday. Keep yourself busy. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to understand exactly what Elder Kirk is saying to you. God is not there. Well, I don't care what you say, Elder Kirk. I'm going to keep going. Go ahead, keep going. Keep failing. Because God done been left there. But you are under the impression, because you're studying and getting yourself a good word, that the people are growing. No, they're not growing, because you're not concerned with their spiritual growth. You're too busy.
Trying to bring money into the
too many fundraisers. How many of you out there listening to me right now has a lot of fundraisers going on?
Well, you got to remodel your church.
Come on now.
Add to.
Well, you don't understand that. See, let me tell you where you went backwards at. You didn't start ministry first and then start a church. You started a church and now you're stuck. You started a church and now you're stuck. Go ahead, baby.
You add on as your church grows.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? You do the necessary upkeep of your church as the church grows.
As the church grows.
But the churches some of the churches we've been at, we've seen people fall away. I mean, like half the church go away. Mm-hmm. And then a trickle of people come in. You know what I'm saying? But you still on that mindset of, I got to have a great church. I got to have a stadium type church. You can't have that kind of mind frame.
It ain't gonna work.
And you still building.
Have you heard God yet? Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, yeah. You continuing doing it. It's continuing not to grow. But then you get this fluctuation and then it goes back down. But then you hear a sermon of what happened, but then it still does the same thing.
And it's not because your people ain't bringing people in. It's because something is wrong in that church and you need to fix it.
Come on now.
That's probably God getting your attention, saying, wake up. You know what I'm saying?
That's
people
right.
don't fall away from a church for no reason. You see what I'm saying? And those that do fall away, God will replenish.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But you so busy trying to do it in your time instead of waiting on God.
Your way.
Whatever happened to fasting and praying? And still working at the same time, but you fasting and praying. You see what I'm saying? So, we need to go back to the basics.
That's what we're doing.
And nobody want to do that no more.
No, because we too far ahead. We too far ahead now. If I back off now, I'm going to lose the church. It's in my name. If I do that, I'm going to lose everything. I ain't listening to y'all. Okay, just keep doing the same thing you've been doing for 20-some years now.
2 or 3 come in my name, he going to be in the midst.
That's right.
So if your whole church is fasting and praying, and we ain't talking about starving, because you could take away from TV time.
That's right.
Okay, computer time, your phone time.
That's
right.
What
I'm saying? You can do all that and still, you know what I'm saying?
We have to stop the church brainwash. If you have been doing the same thing, you're listening to me right now. They're falling away and coming back and falling away and coming back and falling away and coming back. We have a problem.
Hello.
The next one is giving people authority over you and they're not supposed to. I'm talking about leadership, and I'm also talk about in your everyday lives and people that you come across. I noticed this, and I always share it with people, and so you can understand, because like I said, I'm down south, and sometimes people don't understand when they give another person authority over them. Now, this is what I have this problem, people. Do you know when you explain something to somebody and you give them the most earnest of, what the situation is and what's going on, but they still tell you what they think? They still explain to you what it is, but they really never heard anything that you just said? Elder Kirk hates that. I'm going to tell you that right now. And people that have done it to me see my face, and we handle it. When I tell you something, and it's what it is, don't come back to me, turn it around, say what it really was, and then I'm going to sit there and say, yeah, okay, sure. It's like a psychiatrist. If you go see a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist is going to tell you what they think. I was with my baby boy one time, and I said I never want to ever see him again. We were taking him when this thing was the big ADD, ADHD, and all this other kind of stuff, but they were just showing their tails. That's all. Wasn't nothing wrong with them. Him or my other son. Wasn't nothing wrong when they were just showing their butts. I came to that conclusion when they were giving the medicine.